So it seems that once again they've spun that little furry drama wheel that people make jokes about,
Yep.
and chosen to land on a topic that we've talked about in the past and is one of the ones that irritates me the most: grey muzzles and age in the fandom.
Oh, this is something that really gets on my
wick. I don't
wick.
particularly like the term grey muzzle because, well, I'm grey anyway, even when I was young.
It's very true, but I got white on me.
But it does give us a point of debate about the wider topic about age and the furry fandom, and particularly why, well, technically, we are both grey muzzles.
We are, I'm 46, and
I'm, 34, and we ain't leaving the fandom anytime soon. And most grey muzzles, or people our age, will also probably agree with you. And we are not the oldest in the fandom by a long shot.
Oh, no way. No way at all.
I met a 70-year-old furry, so, recently. So, it doesn't matter. And this is why we're going to have a little discussion today about age and fandom and why it's irrelevant. Because, first and foremost, we were all young once. And I hate to break it to you, 20-somethings who do feel like, there shouldn't be older people in the fandom. You're going to get old too!
Yeah, and this is the thing. The fandom's been going now since the, late 80s.
Yeah?
Now, a lot of the people that, founded this fandom have gotten, well, they're older. They're now in their 70s, like you say. And at the same time, like myself, I came into the fandom in the early 2000s. And, well, I've been in it for this long, and I'm not leaving. I mean,
this is the fun thing, isn't it? I think it's great that we have a range of ages in the fandom because it means you've got the people coming in, getting new to the fandom, getting their first fursuits, their first personas, and everything, and then you've got maybe some older furs sticking around who have been there, seen this, done that, and they're helping run stuff. If you look at a board of people who are running a convention. Most of them
are grey muzzles.
A lot of them are certainly a lot more older furs running things because they've got the life experiences. They've done this, they've done that, and they're also the people that you'll come to if you need advice on things and that because again, they've had these problems, they've seen these things.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, okay, there's a bit of a difference between being a bit younger and maybe worrying about the grades you're getting on your assignments and that compared to the price of houses and what car you should get that's a sensible choice for your life. But, it doesn't matter. We're all still very much in the fandom. And the best bit is, as you get older, sometimes, but not always, of course, you do sometimes get a bit more money around, which means you can, buy more art or fursuits or afford to go to cons a bit easier. Yeah. It's always good.
I think what always makes me, laugh, really, is that as a fandom, we kind of have this stigma still. It's dying off, this whole grey muzzle thing, but it still occasionally
it comes up
every now and again. What kind of makes me laugh is other fandoms that have been established longer than we have, say the Star Trek fandom or even anime to an extent, they don't have this as much anymore because basically most of the people that are in the Star Trek fandom that are still running conventions, some of the largest science fiction conventions, they are in their 70s and 80s. Because they were around when they first started. Because they have a show, and that show has a date. You know exactly how old someone's going to be, roughly, if they've been in it from the beginning. Yeah. The fandom's a bit different, because we came into it from funny animal comics and cartoons. But even at that point where we actually started making the fandom, those things were still not new. They were quite old even then.
I mean, it's funny, though. Some people come into the fandom and they're already what would be classed as quote-unquote grey muzzle. I mean...
Well, yeah, I saw a few people that are in their, 30s and 40s starting.
I was 26 when I joined the fandom. And back then, it used to be the whole, once you're 30, you're a grey muzzle.
Out.
Although I must admit, that line seems to just move every year.
Now it's 40. It's slowly moving its way over.
And this is the thing. In 10 years' time, I strongly suspect the people who are 40 and 50 in the fandom will probably very much still be involved.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from my side... I don't see myself leaving the fandom. I'm not going to wake up one day and go, you know what, I'm just too old for fursuiting and fun and friends and connections and art with animals in it and cartoons and, all those. It just doesn't happen. It's an interesting point is this channel in particular does have slightly larger, older viewer rating.
Yeah, it does,
which is interesting. So I don't know if that's just because we're more attractive to people have...
I have no idea. Maybe
I-
it's because of the things we talk about. I won't lie, we are a little bit more mature than some. And
Well, I mean, at least...
when we're not making Wish videos, I suppose.
Although sometimes it does feel like this channel's a bit, hey, you there, fellow kids. You know, we're all cool.
I don't think that, but there we go.
We're cool with the TikToking and the, you know, the...
Are we?
It's just when you put the in front of anything, you know, it doesn't matter. I'll be brutally honest, I don't get TikTok, I'm sorry. But that's cool. TikTok first, you'll do your thing. It's awesome. I love that people are making content. I like that. I like that the fandom has something for every age group.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of our friends are younger.
Some of our friends are young, some of our friends are older.
Yeah.
You know,
some of them are just the same number.
Who would have imagined that?
Oh my god, it's like people get different ages and different things.
You know, we're talking like, I mean, obviously, I feel like with the fandom, it is an interesting one because obviously you've got the whole, over here in particular, I feel, because like fur meets very often need an 18 plus requirement, and obviously our conventions in the UK are largely 18 plus. I just always see the fandom as being over 18. I do respect that obviously, no, a lot of you are younger than 18.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this and you're under 18, hi.
Yeah, and a lot of you on VR chat, as we found out.
Don't get me wrong, I would love to have been 18 and a furry, because my god, the options and doors are open to me.
And again, I wish I could have had things like VR chat and even the local fur meet. I know in America it's not quite so easy to have local fur meets, but over here there was local fur meets everywhere, even back in the day.
You know, so that's cool too. Again, I mean, it doesn't matter. There is no age requirement of the fandom. Obviously, your experiences are going to vary. Once you cross the 18 plus threshold, I guess, in the fandom, more doors open. You can go to cons in the UK and Europe.
Yeah.
You know, you can set up payment plans and actually get a fursuit commissioned without having to ask your parents.
Yeah.
Always
I mean,
nice.
again, there's something else as well. I mean, I hate to say it, when you get a little older, you get a little bit more disposable income, and especially if
as we said,
you get more disposable income, you can buy a fursuit. I mean, I had to say it. It's one of those things that makes me laugh with people that go, "Oh, you're too young to fursuit," and they're like, "Well, I'm old enough to be able to buy one."
And the best thing is, as you get older, you learn how to make things. You know.
Well, I've been making fursuits for years, haven't I? I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, exactly. I mean, I know how to do those kind of things because I've had experience over it.
So there we are. I think the takeaway from this video so far is it's okay to be
old.
This is the hilarious thing, though, right?
I know.
30 is not old, okay?
No.
35 isn't really that old. It's not even midlife at that point.
No.
I haven't had my midlife crisis yet, where I buy a red sports car, you know, and go shopping in my slippers.
No, you just bought a grey and red fursuit.
You know, and at the end of the day, right, I'm looking forward to being a cranky 70-year-old senior fursuiter, you know, like, you damn kid, stop fursuiting on my lawn. You know.
You got that.
Where are we living?
So I just like this idea.
You're living with kids fursuiting in the streets,
I
doesn't
hope
it?
you don't sound like that.
Well, I'm
No.
just going with the idea that the fandom's growing so much.
Suddenly
by that
turn
point,
into a
it's just
1920s prospector from.
like, you know, I don't know. I'm going to be a cranky old man, and I'm looking forward to it.
You're a cranky young raccoon. What are you all about?
But, you know, the takeaway point there is, I have no plans to leave the fandom because of my age,
I don't.
and you shouldn't either. And if you look, you know, you're watching this and you've seen all the controversy, and you may be feeling a little bit upset about, like, oh, I'm worried about getting old. Because I have had people come to me and say, oh, I'm worried about getting old in the fandom. And it's like, don't. Seriously.
I still
right?
think some of this is
You know.
to do with the gay community when that's one of the things that there used to be a stigma in the
they
gay
used to call it, was
community.
it gay deaf.
Gay deaf at
Yeah.
30 years old. If you're gay,
Yeah.
if you're over 30,
See,
you're out.
That's gone as well.
That's
that
gone.
Just doesn't exist either. So.
Exactly. I think we'll follow suit eventually.
I
Hopefully
think
we'll.
this is something that will fizzle itself out. You're always going to have a little bit of a gap between the age, and I still stand by my point that I think we're going to find some furry conventions split where they're geared. Some are geared more towards older furs and some are more to younger.
I think that'll work.
As we're getting more older furs now, there's a lot more in the fandom than there used to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like we'll find more spaces set up with the quieter cons with like board
It's all
games.
generational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have board games at one thing and crazy parties at the other, but in some you'll have both, and that's cool too, because trust me, even as you get older, you still sometimes want to let your hair down and party hard.
Oh God, yeah, we did.
Let's face it, with the stresses of modern adult life, trust me, you need them.
Yeah.
So there we are. Yeah, that's why we're both grey muzzles, and we ain't going anywhere. So
Nope.
fuck off if you think
We're
that
not
grey
going
muzzles
anywhere.
Should leave the fandom. So yeah, I hope this has been interesting and informational and helpful for some of you.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's changed your opinion, I don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and why not support our Patreon? There's a link below. I'm Shadow Raccoon,
And I'm Theodore Rabbit.
and we'll see you next time. Bye everyone!
Bye.